Hey, I make 500 grand a year in profit with my consulting business, and what you're watching right here is a daily video series that always follows the exact same structure. I always start by answering some questions, meaning that you on this channel right here can go down into the comment section and then you can ask me any question that you have about your business, just like Daniel, Forbes, Mr. Hugh, and Omar has done here, and then I will get into answering the questions right after the introduction here. Then I'll run you through some business stats, which is me filling out this sheet every single day that tracks the growth of my revenue and also all of my social channels. And then last but not least, I do some strategy where I'm just like thinking out loud and brainstorming on the initiatives and things that I'm testing in order to take my 500 grand a year profit consulting business to 2 million a year. Over the last 2 years, I've averaged 500 grand a year in profit. I've found the perfect model for me. I don't take sales calls. I have 90% profit at the moment. I only have one team member, my creative director. I get to build my brand, create, share ideas, and build cool businesses, and I work with incredible clients. So now that I have the foundation in place, I now want to start scaling. I took my first coaching business to 2 million a year, but I did it on the exact opposite reason. I did it with 14 full-time employees, a business partner that I shared all profits with. And keep in mind, profit was only 36% before splitting everything because we had such a big team and a large ad spend. So that is it, people. And basically, I found my way, which is really cool. And now, people, let's get into some questions, shall we? So I find a comment that I haven't interacted with. So for example, Daniel here, and then I read the questions out loud. And Daniel has 4 questions today, which is cool. I appreciate that, Daniel. So let's run through it. How do you deal with overwhelm? So like lots of clients, projects, or how have you dealt with it in the past? Really good question, bro. I think just like in business, like this is usually how your revenue looks. Maybe even something like this, right? Of like you get to certain new levels and points, right? Where you're getting used to the workload, deadline, stress, everything, and then you typically take a jump up when you've gotten used to it. Sometimes you decline a little bit because like that is a graph of revenue, but your graph of revenue is usually correlated with the graph of your skill set, your mental capacity, your identity, who you are, what you can deal with. And the way that I see it, brother, is that I think that in life and in business, there is negative stress and then there is positive stress. And the way that I see negative stress is like versus positive stress is that, for example, let's take lots of clients, right? Negative stress with lots of clients would be a lot of bad clients, bad fit, headache clients, wrong expectations, too big promises, clients coming in expecting me to turn their entire business around in 2 weeks. But lots of clients on the positive stress can be there are too many perfect fit clients that want to work with me and I do not have the capacity to work with all of them. Or I oversold myself, meaning that I took in too many spots and I now have too much time in one-to-one calls or delivery and starting to drain my energy. So that's how I can take, for example, like too many clients and then I can put them into the brackets of negative stress. Is this stress that probably like drains me? And positive stress, it's a sign of growth. So I always try to look at it exactly like that. In terms of like I need to place the feeling that I have of overwhelm. I need to place it in a bucket to understand how to deal with it. So for example, negative clients in a bad way, then I need to fix it with communication. I need to fix it with criteria. I need to fix it by qualifying people more versus lots of clients. And the positive stress is that I need to fix my offer stack with like my delivery structure. Should I tweak with something pricing? Should I remove some time? Should I get a client success manager? So it's like the solution is vastly different compared to the overwhelm, whether it's negative or positive. And I see it as a good thing overall, brother, because it's you developing at the end of the day. And then I place it in negative and positive. So hopefully that makes sense. And I want to tell you that it's very natural. It's typically a good sign that you are growing as a person and thereby also your business. Then Daniel asks, how do you know your 80-20? I try to be very, very simple with my 80-20 because I have front end and I have my back end. For front end, I just need to have a constant stream of new leads, and on the back end, I just need to make sure that I take really good care of the people that gets into my world. And that's my 80-20. So for my back end and for delivery, it's always hosting one great weekly workshop. It is answering all of my clients every single day, multiple times throughout the day, so that they get fast response, feedback, and my thoughts on their business and if they are stuck. And then third, it's about improving tools, trainings, and the only way that I improve my tools and trainings is by improving my own business. All of the stuff that I teach my clients is stuff that I do myself. And then I realize what works and what doesn't, and then I give it to clients. So if I do those three things, then I have a very high retention rate, I keep clients happy, and they stay around for long, and they refer. So like that's my 80-20 for backend. For front end, it is posting on Instagram every single day and posting on YouTube every single week. And then it is uploading on the daily channel or sending an email or putting something out on LinkedIn. And then most importantly, making some sort of like an offer, at least like a week or so of the month of like promoting the next steps to work with me. So like then I make sure that new people enter the world, they get nurtured. So like IG gets new people in, YouTube nurtures, emails make offers. And on the back end, client delivery, text feedback every single day makes people moving. Good workshops make sure that people develop their business and see the value. And then constant stream of new ideas from Fred by me moving the needle in my own business. And that is my 80-20. It takes me, I would say, 3 to 4 hours a day to do all of those things. And then the additional hours, I spent that on one-to-one calls with clients, working on ideas, or just shit that fills my cup up, being creative, writing stuff down, etc. That's how I run it. What tech stack do you use inside of your agency and New Season? This is my marketing agency. What do we use? We have a custom built dashboard that we built with Claude. We basically just vibe coded everything that we needed, and then we gave it to a developer, paid him a few $1,000s so that he made it functioning and running with like all the boring stuff that we don't know how to do. We use a fully customized solution because it's so incredibly easy if you know what you're doing. Like the only way that you can make a system or a process is if you have something that works repeatable, and then you can take what works repeatable and then give it to Claude. It can visualize it and process it in the exact way that you need it. That's how we do it. And then when do you know is the right time to hire and build a team? And the tech stack question applies here as well. So for hiring and building a team, I think my relationship with hiring and a team has changed a lot throughout the years. Like in my first coaching business, right? Every time that we had a bottleneck, we would put a person on it, meaning that if we got too many leads in through the door, we would hire a new setter. If we had too many calls on calendar, we would hire a closer. If we had too many clients, we would hire a customer success manager. And the thought process here on paper is good, right? Like there's more volume. There's basically like, if this is your business, right? Then there's so much volume trying to get in. So like by hiring is that you extend it so that like it can stream again. And we did that with a person, right? But I've also learned a lot from the last 2 years of doing everything almost like as a one-person business and then with a creative director, is that, let's say the leads example again, too many leads are coming in, let's hire a new setter. Or we could look at the lead quality. Can we make sure that less people comes in, but we still make the same amount of money in the business so that we can optimize and be more profitable, and the closer speaks to better people on their calendar rather than many. Which kind of like fixes automatically the next bottleneck in the business of, should I have a closer for all of the calls? Well, could the calls be more qualified? And the same with clients. Could I work with fewer but better higher paying clients rather than many low paying? So I think I've really, really tried my best to optimize something as much as I possibly can. So like automate it, make the system better, optimize the processes. And then the last stretch is hiring a person. And then it's also about pros and cons, brother, in terms of like, yes, I could hire a closer and my business would make more money in the short term because I would offer all of the people that is on the fence of working with me a one-to-one conversation with someone who can answer their questions. But do I want people who need their one-to-one questions answered, or do I want people that believe in me and my way of doing things by looking at how well it works for my business, my clients, and how I go about things, and then trust themselves so much that they'll transact with me on an email and then become clients out of their own free will and not because of objection handling? So there's always pros and cons to people. I really love to have people for creative stuff. Like Toby, my creative director, I think it's essential in a world filled with AI that you have a human creative brain that you can bounce ideas and create content with. So that's how I see that role. But yeah, that's how I go about it, brother. I try to keep things very lean. If I partner up with people or do other business ventures, it's much more about the founder and the person, and yeah, so that's how I like think about hiring and team and etc. So yeah, Context, I too have my done with you and done for you businesses, but it's getting overwhelming. I love the coaching business and I don't want to let it go, even though 80% of my revenue comes from the done for you. It's also a lot of work, so I need to start hiring and building a proper culture. Yeah, brother. I only have 33% of my agency, right? Which a lot of people will be like, that's very low, Fred. Why don't you have more percentages? Well, it's because the remaining 67 is at my partners, Anton and Fred, who are highly incentivized to run the agency because they make a lot of money and a good chunk. So my 33% compared to the hours that I put in is very, very high leverage. So it's about understanding the different roles and purposes of your companies in your portfolio, in terms of like, yeah, you might not work many hours, but the hours you work are highly leveraged because you've incentivized a team and paid them a lot of money, so that you can spend time, like me in my consulting business, where my output and in hours and in enjoyment is higher than in operations and in an agency. So that's how I think about it, brother. So love you, brother. I appreciate that, Daniel. Come to Portugal. I'd love to come to Portugal. And if I'm there, brother, I'll definitely let you know. I think Portugal is an incredible country. Forbes says, hey, Fred, my question has been deleted all the time. Can you check that? I will definitely check that. I have no idea how, though. What if we say health questions here? Nope. Okay, that is weird. That is very weird, brother. And Riot says the same thing. That's weird. I'll try to search it up. I don't think it's on my end. I can't really access any other questions than the ones here, but I'll definitely check. Then people will take the very last question here from Mr. Hugh. Hey Fred, thanks for all the value you provide. I got you, brother. Thanks for being here. My question, if you had to start over from scratch, no track record, nobody knowing who you are, how would you land your first 5 clients? People you'd help build and sell their own online info product. Would you start posting on Instagram and reach out from there? Cold emails, personal videos? And if it's videos, what would you write in the message and say in the video itself? And how would you handle the experience part? Be upfront that you've done it before or position it another way. So first, for that question, brother, I've built my entire brand, business, relationships, network on being incredibly honest with people. So I would never ever tell someone that I could do it or have experience or use fake testimonials or case studies or anything. Just be honest, brother. But we'll get into that. Let me answer the question here. If I had to start over from scratch, so first of all, I would say you do not need 5 clients. My agency does like 35 grand a month and we have 5 clients. So like, just to start out with, brother, I would just focus on getting 1 client, and that's literally it. And then once you have the first client, then you can get the second client, because then you have data and feedback, and then you repeat, and then along the way you exponentially get better at the stuff that you do. So I would really focus on getting 1 very good client and the right client, rather than 5 bad fit, iffy, maybe clients, you know? So like, flip your mindset there, brother, to like, we just need 1 client, because then it's not that overwhelming. It's overwhelming for me to get to 2 million a year, but it's not that overwhelming to get my business to 168 grand a month, which is to fill 7 spots every single month in my inner circle, whereas one of them is on my one-on-one, and then 70% of the people sticking around for a full year, then I'm at 2 million a year. So it's like, boil your numbers down so that it's not that overwhelming. So I think if your offer has something to do with content and personal branding and sharing stuff online, I think it's very important that you lead the way and share content yourself. Meaning that if you were a, let's say, business to business agency for dentists, I wouldn't post on Instagram. But if you help info products and other coaches, service providers with their brand and content, and thereby make more clients and make more money, I would definitely post on Instagram. So I'd always take your own medicine. It's always the best B2B agency offer is by taking your own medicine. That's why my agency does well, because my agency operates coaches and consultants, and we take a percentage of their business, because my consulting business, my own business, is doing well. So that's how I would see it, Mr. Hope. That's how I would do it. It's very hard to create content when you're a complete beginner. Like, if I were a complete beginner, I would not really feel that great about creating content, because I have no idea on what to talk about. But then I would try to document my work as much as possible. But I think now that I'm talking out loud here and answering the question myself, I would maybe like post some more corporate business to business stuff of like, what can you get from working with me as a social media marketing agency? That's how I would position you, brother, if you had no experience, of like, we help experts turn da da da. And then we're like, the more done for you focus. We are a agency. We do it for you. It's not consulting. It's not a course. We do it for you. We are a trusted partner. Something like that. I like that a lot. Personal videos, just like the more personality you can get in your outreach, the better. That's definitely not personality, but you get the point. Like always. Like if I were to start out, then I would reach out to Danish clients only. I would call them, I would show up at their door. I would do anything that I can to stand out from the rest of the market by being as hyper personalized and as valuable as possible. Because what a lot of people don't understand about outreach as well, it's that it's a first impression, meaning that if you send a bad message once to a client, it will always be in the chat history or in the email history with that client. So they will always think negatively of you if you just did copy paste. Whereas if you literally send a cake to them, right, with your outreach message, which is like a big thing in Silicon Valley right now, of like a very trendy thing. So like sending people a cake, literally. Then you leave an incredible impression. They might not buy from you now, but in 4 or 5 months, they'll think highly of you. A good example is these videos that I'm doing here. Every single day I'm on here giving you guys value, and hopefully my advice will help you make some more money in your current business ventures so that you come back to me and then ask, Fred, do you have more stuff that works? Hey, sure. That's how I've signed the majority of my clients, is that they watch my YouTube, they test something that I've like an offer stack, the menu card, using specific YouTube videos, implementing email, offer documents, financial engineering for paid in full MRR, all of the shit that I talk about. They do it in their business, realize it works, and they're like, hey Fred, can I work with you? That was really cool. So it's like, it's that incentive there. So like, it's just so important, Mr. Ho, that like, brother, you just want to make a very good impression with these people. So that's why you should do like personal videos, show up, cold call in a good, sweet way. And then I would just be, as I said in the beginning, be upfront that you haven't done it before. And then I would tell that one client that, listen, my entire business success and my entire life success, all my ever financial personal goals depends on me making sure that you become the greatest case study the world has ever seen. I will work 40 hours a week only on your business to make this work. So yes, I don't have tens and thousands of case studies, but I don't have tens and thousands of other clients that needs my attention either. I'm here to make it work for you, and that's why you should hire me. And that works incredibly well, I can confirm, because that's how I got my first client. So that's how I would do, Mr. Ho. I'm wishing you all the best. I hope it was a good enough answer with enough context. And then we'll take Mr. Omar's question tomorrow, because now we are 18 minutes in here, people. And I promised myself to keep these videos like around the 20-minute mark. So let's do some business stats here, shall we? It's where I document the growth of my social channels and how much money that my business is generating, to be as transparent as possible. I don't think money is a bad thing that we shouldn't talk about. I want my future kids to grow up in a world where we talk about money, so that they don't grow up in a household like me where we never spoke about money. That was a longer explanation, but daily updates has grown. I come from an incredible family, by the way, people, with lots of love. I wouldn't change it for a thing, but it would have been cool to be a little bit more financial literate when I grew up. 9323 on the main YouTube channel. 9323. There we go. My Instagram is currently sitting at 26833. Beautiful. My newsletter is currently sitting at 1424. There we go. And yesterday, no cash collected for the business. It's end of month, people, so you'll notice that I don't get a lot of payments in the month. As I've explained before, I make majority of my money in the first few weeks of business, because that's where I onboard new people and get payment plans as a result. There we go, people. Today, not a lot of crazy stuff. I had to sort some paperwork again today. I need to sneeze. Oy. Bless you, Fred. Thank you, people. Not a lot of strategies today, people. Today was like another paperwork day. Not a lot of stuff. Just checked in with clients. I had some exciting. I actually had one exciting call just now, pretty late, but a great call. Talk with Toby, planning some videos for YouTube. We have our next recording day next week. We're testing out a new packaging and title flow to like test some things in terms of like click-through rate, and I'm experimenting with some different visual styles than how I've usually done it. So that's pretty exciting. I'll let you know how that goes. Other than that, spend a few hours working on the workshop I'm hosting on Thursday for all of the clients and friends in the circle. We're talking about decision making and how to make fewer but better decisions in your business, because that's usually what my clients need, because most of my clients are doing 10, 15, 20 grand a month, and they're still making, like, which is completely fair, like they're still making decisions like they are hustling to get to 10K, so many decisions and changing direction. And from my experience, that's not how you scale and get to, for example, where I'm at, 50 grand a month in rev. So yeah, that's an interesting guide that I'm working on there. And that is it for today, people. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you tomorrow.